Why do we tell stories? Well, some tell stories to entertain, and some tell stories to send a truth about the world. But the bottom line is, we tell stories to enlighten the world on how we should treat people. And there are two main sub-themes that help us illustrate this: how we treat people with love, and how we treat people with our actions. Oh, take for example, Chennai Express, directed by Rohit Shetty, released in 2013. This movie is about two star-crossed lovers, Rahul and Meenama. Rahul meets Meenama by accident when he gets on the wrong train, and Meenama explains that her cousins are trying to kidnap her for her arranged marriage. However, through a series of circumstances, Meenama has to explain that to her father that she cannot marry her first fiancé because she loves Rahul. This Bollywood movie helps us understand why we tell stories. This movie's so dumb. Okay, it's not the most intellectual movie, but it does help. Meenama is forced into marriage with someone that she doesn't love, and at the end of the movie, Rahul makes a statement about how people should be able to love whoever they want to love. Sir, if I may, you cannot force someone into love. It must come naturally. आज मुझे मीनामा चाहिए. मैं आपको क्या बात है? आगे पीछे केवल पानी पीता है. Meenama, I love you. And given the number of Bollywood movies that make a statement about how it is wrong that 90% of the Indian population get an arranged marriage, it makes sense that they're able to tell the world, that they're made to tell the world, specifically India, that people should choose who they want to love. This is actually very similar to Romeo and Juliet. We can actually go there right now. Cool. All right. Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare is of course about how Romeo and Juliet love each other, however their love is forbidden since their families are enemies.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, why art thou Romeo? Hey, you know I can hear you, right?
However, that doesn't stop Romeo and Juliet from loving each other to death. Quite literally. One common message throughout the story is that people should love whoever they want to love. Since their families are enemies, neither Romeo nor Juliet's parents knew that they were married, and Juliet's parents kept trying to get Juliet to love someone else, this kid, Paris, or whatever. But at the end of the play, their parents realized that Romeo and Juliet love each other, and that them trying to get their children to love other people is what got them killed. So, like in Chennai Express, Romeo and Juliet was made to teach the world that people should love who they want to love. Let's move on. Alright, let's move on to The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Doug is about a black girl who speaks out to the world after her friend is innocently killed by a police officer. Throughout the entire story, everyone treats the protagonist Star harshly. The police treat Star and her friend as if they're the perpetrators, and the police officer who killed her friend is the victim. Her friend is straight up racist to her, and the public and people in her school just treat Star as if she's different. You know what? You're racist, Star. You're racist, Haley. The book concludes with Star making sure people treat her right by blocking her friend's number, making it right with the police, and being the local hero in her town. Almost no one really thinks about what they do and what they say, and that really affects Star on a personal note. And the book tells us that there's a lot more to someone's life than it might seem. So we should think more about how we act and what we say to people. You know, there's actually one more story that follows along the same lines. We can just teleport to it like... Nice. Alright. The story Wild Tales by Almadovar and Sony Pictures is a culmination of 6 stories. In one tale, a man arranges for everyone who has wronged him in his life to board a flight so he can crash the plane. In the short film, a woman boards a flight. However, she soon finds out that everyone on the plane knows her ex-boyfriend Gabriel in a bad way. The story ends with Gabriel crashing the plane into his parents' house, successfully killing everyone who has wronged him in his life. Contrary to Thug, Gabriel kills everyone who has wronged him, while Star makes it right to everyone. However, similar to Thug, a lot of people did not treat the protagonist well, and because of that, it made the protagonist go insane. So, just like in The Hate You Give, the movie shows us that there's a lot more to someone's life than it might seem. So we should think more about how we act and what we say to people. Dokie. Okay. So, why do we tell stories? Well, like I said, some tell stories to entertain. Prime example being Chennai Express, a movie about pure nonsense. However, we also tell stories to send a message, and that message is that we need to think more about how we treat people. As shown in Chennai Express and Romeo and Juliet, we need to think twice before we force someone into love. And as shown in The Hate You Give and The Wild Tales, we need to think twice before we say something to the people that we might regret. And we also have to think about how what we say might affect them. Bottom line, we tell stories to enlighten the world on how people should be treated.